Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a hypnosis session to help a client get to a particular weight that they wanted to get to. But what was important about this particular session is that the weight loss wasn't the goal. The weight loss was meant to be the side effect of pursuing healthy habits and moving towards a desirable future. And I've worked with probably over 200, maybe 300 weight loss clients. And there are two really important ingredients that if they're not there, then it's very difficult for anyone to lose weight, even with an excellent strategy. And the first thing is having a compelling vision of the future. It's really important to be able to see and believe an appealing future that is incredibly desirable for an individual. If they have that desirable future, and sometimes it's even more desirable if it's in contrast to an undesirable future that they're probably heading towards, that can be really compelling. And it's the compelling nature of not just wanting that future, but doing anything to have that future is a really important ingredient. The second thing is that the journey has to be desirable. It has to be enjoyable. If weight loss is a miserable struggle, you might do it for a short period of time if you're seeing results. But the moment you stop seeing results, or the moment that you hit whatever the goal is, you're going to revert back to whatever you deem to be enjoyable and pleasurable. So in this particular case, what was really important is for the client to look at this not as a diet, but as healthy eating, and that the healthy eating itself can be enjoyable and desirable. And combined, when you make changes to what eating every day is like, rather than going on a diet, it gives a different frame of mind, because then you could live this way for a very long period of time. So in this session, you're going to hear various metaphors. One of the parts of the induction was linking to a time when this particular lady, this client, was very, very determined and motivated. That was a resource state for her, and it taps into Glastonbury tour, which if you're not from the UK, if you're not from England, Glastonbury is a very beautiful part of the world. I think it's in Somerset or near Devon. It's that part of the world, but a very beautiful town. And it has this incredible hill that they call a tor. And on top of that is almost like a little tower, very beautiful, but it takes some work to climb up this. And she did that many, many times over a weekend, which proved that she had those resources within her. So tapping into resources, but then having a compelling vision of a future full of freedom, full of mobility, full of confidence and health and vitality. And that's what you're going to hear in this hypnosis session. If you are struggling with weight and you've tried many different things, you've tried the diets, you've tried the personal trainer, and it's not working, it's possible that actually the key change that's required is about your beliefs and your emotions, your resources, and not necessarily the diet or exercise plan that you're following. So if you are curious to see if hypnosis could help you lose weight, click the link in the show notes and you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation call to explore working with me directly. For now, though, what you might find is that this hypnosis session, albeit that it was created for someone else, might be helpful, might get you in that resourceful state where you want to start making progress. So find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to close. And as they close, continue to breathe in and breathe out, and become increasingly aware of any feelings of tension. I want you to imagine you're playing find and seek with tension in your body. See where that tension is hiding. Maybe there's tension in your eyelids, in your forehead, in your jaw. And as you find that tension, give permission to that tension to be released. As you breathe in that feeling of resourcefulness, imagine a feeling of relaxation going into your body. And now that you know where that tension is hiding, the relaxation can seek out that tension, melting the tension away, so that as you breathe out, you can feel that tension leaving your body in your outward breath. And the more of that tension you release, the easier it is to find other tension or stress hiding in your body. Maybe this time, your neck or your shoulders, perhaps even in your fingers. And I want you to imagine that you're breathing in healing white light, so bright. And imagine that healing white light going in through your nose, a resourceful feeling, a healing feeling, a relaxing feeling. And that healing white light is now seeking out stress, tension, but also inflammation. Breathe in that healing white light and allow it to go to the places in your body where there's maybe pain, stiffness, aches. And again, imagine that healing white light melting away, soothing and easing any pain, releasing any anxiety, melting away any stress. And it feels good to release that. You can imagine the healing white light going in, but imagine what leaves your body in that outward breath is not bright white light, but almost like a grey, dark, shadowy colour, representing the inflammation, the stress, the anxiety that is not just released, but leaving your body. So you could imagine just by breathing in and breathing out, you're giving your body a transfusion, giving your body what you need, those resources, and allowing what you don't desire or need anymore to just go away. Breathe in and breathe out. And as your body relaxes, I want your imagination to take you back to a place you've been before. I want you to imagine it's a sunny day in Glastonbury, and you can imagine seeing a large hill with a tower on top, and you're looking upwards at Glastonbury Tor. Blue skies, sunshine, melting away any tension and stress, but what's different is that no one else is around. This tour, this hill is just for you. And I want you to imagine at the bottom of that hill, before it gets too steep, imagine seeing the most comfortable bed you've ever seen. And allow your conscious mind to climb onto that bed, feeling your head on the pillow, feeling your body sink into that mattress and duvet. As I count down from 5 to 1, I want you to imagine feeling so relaxed that you can just imagine sinking into that mattress, that pillow, falling asleep, out there in nature, sun on your face, there at the bottom of Glastonbury Tor. 5, eyelids feeling heavier and heavier and heavier. 4, releasing any tension in your jaw, neck and shoulders. 3, arms feeling so limp, loose and heavy. 2, feeling like even your internal organs are releasing tension and relaxing. Heart, lungs, stomach, diaphragm. Even your guts all release any tension and just relax now. Going into your legs, limp, loose, heavy, all the way into your feet. Releasing any inflammation in every joint in your body. 2 and then 1, just imagine feeling so relaxed that you can imagine what it would be like to fall asleep in a bed, out in nature, under the sunshine, just having a nap. And in that nap, imagine you're having a dream. And in that dream, imagine you're beside the same bed, seeing that conscious version of you, fast asleep in a bed. You can lift up your hand or your arm, feel how limp and loose it is and let it go and see it flop straight back down beside your body on that bed. Because I'm now talking to your imagination, your unconscious mind, the part that wants change, the part that deep down knows that the future, unless something changes, will take you to a place of sickness, restrictions, and deep unhappiness. And if there's a part of you that wants to avoid that future, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to tap into a deep feeling of determination, of self-belief, a do whatever it takes mentality that you've had before as you look up at that hill and see the tower on top. And imagine you're starting to walk. And that feeling of determination, that feeling of desire to go outside your comfort zone, feel it within you as you walk, perhaps on a path, perhaps on grass, going upwards. And I want you to feel that with every step you take forward, you're making progress. You can't magically go from the bottom to the top just in a few seconds. To make progress, it takes one step at a time. You can choose to step and walk forward, and you can choose to stay still, and you can choose to walk backwards. But your eye is on getting to the top. So every step forwards feels like progress. And I want you to imagine that climbing up this hill is no different from losing weight. You can want to climb up this hill, but wanting it isn't enough. Being in the right place, taking the right steps, seeing where you want to move towards, are all necessary for you to climb that hill. Likewise, what if losing weight wasn't the goal, just a side effect of establishing incredibly healthy habits in your life? That just what you do when it comes to food is eat the kind of foods that are powered by sunshine and rainwater, that give your body what you need, that snacking is replaced with meals, and there's an overriding sense that when you do the right things, your life improves. So I want you to imagine walking up that hill, going all the way up, right to the top. I want you to imagine you're standing under an archway, looking out at incredible nature. And sometimes when you look out at nature, your mind can access a daydream state. And sometimes in this daydream state, we can imagine a future. And I want you to imagine a future that, as a result of eating in a way that you've eaten before, but building that momentum, that habit, that routine, that rhythm, you start to notice changes. That when you give your body what you need, the inflammation goes away. That when you give your body protein, your hunger goes down. And I want you to imagine a future where you see a future version of yourself, smiling, looking healthy, looking confident. See that future version of you able to accomplish something that at one point in your life you thought was impossible. And even now you might think it's a really big challenge, but I want you to imagine yourself doing something that signifies you transforming into a version of you where there is health, there is confidence, there is freedom. Maybe you see yourself climbing up a mountain. Maybe you see yourself walking for hours on end. See yourself reaching the peaks, the pinnacle. And as you do that, imagine seeing that future version of you looks healthy and happy and confident. And contrast that with where your life could end up if you fall into the rhythm of eating toxic, poisonous foods that pollute your body. That inflammation is not natural. That's what happens when you poison your body day after day after day. You're not going on a diet. You're just stopping the pollution. And your body, like nature, when the pollution stops, can heal, can thrive, can get better. So as you look at that future version of you doing things that exceed your own expectations, open your mind to new ways of thinking, ways that help and improve your life. A version of you that enjoys wholesome meals made with natural ingredients. Maybe see that future version of you that led up to these achievements. Cooking scrambled eggs, eating meals with chicken or tuna, and see all those colourful foods, those salads, those vegetables. But see yourself enjoying those nourishing foods, not eating them reluctantly, but really enjoying them, relishing the flavours, and noticing how satisfied you look after each meal. But you're seeing a version of you being strategic. See yourself batch cooking healthy meals that are not only nutritious but also quick and convenient to prepare if you're feeling short on time or just hungry for something to eat. Embrace the idea that diets don't work and this is not a diet. This is just changing what you do when you're not on a diet. Eating healthier and enjoying that healthy food is what many people do every day, and they're not on a diet. That's just how they like to eat their food and how they like to live. And what if their health and their vitality and their mobility is just a reflection of the choices they tend to make day after day after day? Notice how with each healthy choice you make, your body responds positively. That the weight loss comes as a side effect of these healthy choices day after day. See that future version of you with confidence and self-esteem skyrocketing as you take control of your health and well-being through these food choices. But I want you to see an increasingly mobile version of you, Because when you reduce that high carbohydrate, high sugar processed foods, the inflammation goes down because the pollution has stopped. So, with less inflammation, you can be more mobile, walk more, be more active. Not because you have to, but because you want to, because it's enjoyable to be more active with your body. See yourself, perhaps, as the weeks turn into months, trying on some of those old clothes you haven't worn for a while and realizing that your old clothes are like a treasure chest, that you get to activate all these clothes that are just waiting for you to wear them. See that future version of you filled with someone that is full of energy, vitality, mobility, and freedom. And maybe see yourself interacting with family members, other people you know, and see that you feel more comfortable, more confident around other people. This isn't a diet, this is just choices. You don't have to be perfect. When you're driving on a road, if you move slightly outside of your lane, you don't think that you failed at driving. You just made the adjustment to get back in your lane. So if you have the occasional food that isn't healthy, natural foods, doesn't mean you failed. It just means that you're drifting outside of your lane, and the very next food choice gets you back in that lane. And when you see that future version of you, perhaps months in the future, able to walk up a mountain, notice how energetic you look. Your body shape has changed. But see you with the same level of inner strength and determination that had you walking up and down Glastonbury Tor, just like you've done in the past. I want you to imagine you're still there at the top of the Tor, looking out into the sky, seeing your future. But this isn't wishful thinking. This is the natural consequence of choices over days that turn to weeks and weeks that turn to months. And making these choices will feel so much better than any food can taste like, because you're then in control of your life. Opening the doorway of possibility to a bright future filled with happiness, confidence, and health, and all that that means to you. Absorb this realization that when you have a compelling vision of your future, you are awakening resources that were always there but just needed the right conditions. A seed will not grow in dry surroundings, but the moment it has some soil and water, things take root quickly. As you think about the future you want, all of these resources will take root. The determination, the resilience, the motivation, it was always there. It just needed the right vision of the future to activate it. Feel yourself there on the top of that hill with a sense of optimism and positivity for the future. Feel yourself walking down that hill, and then see that conscious version of you at the bottom of that hill, fast asleep in a bed, and then step into that version of you, so you and they are the same person, feeling motivated, optimistic, and feeling like you're now returning to the present as you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, as very soon I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken with a clear vision of what your future would look like, with a desire to make immediate progress on reactivating some of those healthy habits of the past. Not because it's a diet, but simply that you want to become healthy, and this is the foundation for all positive changes. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.